This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Monday, September 19th, 2022. Happy birthday, Melissa. The title of this rant is Russia Can't Win. How will it lose without being a pariah state for the next 50 years? So everyone knows in the last 2 weeks, Ukraine has done everything right. They've made tremendous gains. They've routed the Russians. A lot of great technical, logistical, planning, tactical, everything great on the part of the Ukrainians. Not so much for the Russians. They are in a deep hole. They may not be, they're not going to be able to get out of it. They are not going to be able to overcome the deficiencies that they've shown in the first 6 months. They just cannot. So whether it's supply chain issues, whether it's logistics, whether it's the amount of men, whether it's the equipment, it doesn't make any difference. Their deficiencies are so deep. You know, they've lost between 50 and 80,000 casualties. That's not means death, but they do think there's been more than up to 50,000 people have died. I mean, just fighters for Russia. They can't replace them. They can't train people enough to get them back on the battlefield that quickly. They cannot do that. Their equipment is in an incredible amount of disarray. They have lost not only by being, let's just not use the word slaughtered, but by being ambushed all over the place by Ukraine and by leaving stuff all over the place. They cannot replace that equipment in a short amount of time. They're also coming up against the sanctions. The sanctions, they won't be able to buy the material that they need to make more armaments. And the biggest thing is they won't be able to buy the chips for their for their technical weapons. And the biggest thing is that they have a failure to adapt. They have not been able to adapt. They're trying to win the World War II or whatever with tactics, as opposed to what the tactics need to be right now. They don't know how to fight. They don't want to fight. They don't have a moral element, whereas Ukraine, morally, they want to win. They want to win. And you cannot win, Russia cannot win when they don't really want to win by the people that they actually have on the battlefield. And of course, they're trying to get out of it now by saying they're going to blame NATO for the loss. But what seems to be happening is that they may be willing to fight this, or Vladi may be willing to fight this for up to another 2 years until he's routed out of Russia, routed out of Ukraine, including the Crimea, with thousands upon thousands of deaths and billions of dollars in terms of destruction, just so that he can blame NATO for him having to leave this whole thing. And of course, it doesn't make any difference about that. At some point in time, regardless of whether it's a formal declaration of peace or not, there will have to be reparations. There will have to be war crimes, as we saw what happened, was it Lyman, just in the last week or so. And then Ukraine gets all of Ukraine, including Crimea. And this is going to cause Russia to be, and because it already is, it's a dysfunctional petro state right now, but it's going to be a dysfunctional pariah state for at least the next 50 years. And the question is how are they going to lose? Can they just declare the losses now, get out, get rid of Putin, and do the reparations and everything else? Or are they just going to use old arms, old equipment, old men, and let them die on the battlefield all over the place as they slowly walk themselves back into Russia and then try and get out of everything else? I wish there was a coup. Doesn't look like it, which means only more death and destruction for the next several years.